They have said it could be, several months, so probably 2 to 3 months is my estimate. And then after that, the game will be doing basically a launch, which is the beta, which is basically going to be basically a launch, but then they'll do an official release after that's all worked out. But anyone should be able to actually play during the beta because you can actually sign up on their website just by going over here. And so the alpha will allow all those with Kickstarter who backed. Also on the website, if you did miss out on the Kickstarter, since that it did actually end a while ago, unfortunately, for those of you who did miss out and are interested in taking a look, there is a Slacker backer on the Hex website. Now the Slacker backer is, you still get some decent things, so I've opened that up just so you guys can have a look. So it's $50, you get a starter deck, you also do get a free starter deck in your account when you create it, so you'll have 2 starter decks based on that. You'll then have 25 booster packs, which they're normally $2 each, so that alone, that's basically you're getting good value out of that alone. And then you get 2 months of the VIP program, which is just 1 pack per week. So basically you get 4 packs a month for, normally that would be, I think it's $2, is that right?
Yep, they're planning on dollars per pack. You'll be getting 1 free pack per week.
Yeah,
VIP program.
$4 is the VIP program normally, yeah. And you get the 4 packs, so you're basically getting a packs for half price, so 4 packs a month. There's also 2 promo cards that you get with the Slacker backer, so I'll open one of those to show you guys.
Oh, show them Princess Corey. Show them Princess Corey.
That's the one I'm showing. So there's Princess Corey. Read that. It's pretty OP. Obviously it's a 1/1, but it's a PvE card. Can't be used in PvP because, well, that would be quite. Yeah. We don't need to really explain that, but yeah, it's PvE card, which is the orange symbol down here denotes that. So yeah, basically if this card's in your opening hand, it gets +6/+6 permanently, and then anytime it does damage to an opposing champion, it'll then create that many random legendary troops and put them into play. So that I see being a very exciting and fun card to play, just because you never know what you're going to get. The game also does, for PvE, does have equipment, so this is the equipment this card can actually have. Now the way the equipment works is that your hero that you have, so like say you've got a warrior in the PvE, you've then got, like a standard MMO, you're going to have different slots for your hero, so you'll have a helmet, a chest piece, and so on. This card here is not a very good example since it's got a fork and a cake, so who knows what slot they're going to actually go in, probably maybe left hand, right hand, who knows, but I'll change it to this card, the Chester Hex, just so you can see this is a chest piece here. Sorry, go ahead.
I believe the cake goes in the mouth slot.
Yes, if maybe it's the helmet slot, or maybe they've got a separate mouth slot, who knows. But so with the Chester Hex here, it's another card that's completely random, which I think it's exciting having this sort of thing in the game where you have just random things that could happen, and it's always going to be different. It makes it so you can have a game with mates, and then say this completely crazy thing happens, and that's like a good story you can tell your other mates about. Oh, this happened last night, and I was just all crazy and blah blah blah. So this card here is another one that's, they're both 2 cards that just completely can do anything, and you just could have a really good experience, could be a bad one. Most of the time it's probably going to be something exciting though. So with the equipment here, these are both 2 pieces that would go in the chest piece. So you can only obviously have 1 chest piece, you're not going to be wearing multiple layers of armor and whatnot. So you'll have to decide, well, with this equipment with my deck, you can only have, the 1 chest piece, the 1 helmet, and so on. So if I want to use this one, for example, I can't then use that one, so I can only get this effect. So when this artifact will always create ardent or neutral creeps, or the opposite if you want that. So probably not something too great from just looking at that. I mean, the effect by itself is great, but with other cards, so I'll quickly bring up some other cards just to give you guys an idea of the other equipment. Here's some more cards on their website here. You can go look at all the different, so you got the different deck types. Here you got Blood, which, black or purple. And then you got Wild, which is green. Then you got Diamond.
Or natural big stompy creatures for Wild.
Yeah, and then you got Diamond. Give it a second to load. There we go. diamond's a lot about health gain and buffing up your own creatures. They got Inspire, which is new to Hex. Being digital, they can do these interesting mechanics with this card. For example, the Kraken Guard mana, I'll bring him up. It's an interesting mechanic to the game where if this troop's in play and you play something with this, the cost of the card here is 1. So if you play a creature that costs 1 or higher, they will then get this bonus to them, so they get an extra 1 to defense. So with this card here, here's the equipment. So because this is a PvP card, it is with PvE you can play with any cards. So you can play with any of the PvP cards you've collected or the PvE cards. You can make a deck combining those, and they've all got their own unique equipment. So there's thousands of pieces of equipment. You got the rarity level here. So this one's here. This glove is a rare, and then you've got a legendary helmet. So if you, for example, were to run this in a PvE and you were to have this helmet, then you couldn't, for example, say you've got another card that has a nice helmet, you'd have to go, well, which one's going to benefit me more? Because you can only pick the one. So if you had this one, you could then get the gloves as well. You have to really think about it because it's going to change up your deck. So you really want to pick the right equipment for the way your deck's going to work. Especially, if you're going to run equipment for, like, say if you run both of these pieces of equipment, you're going to run 4 of this card if you're using both pieces of equipment. If you only have one of this guy in your deck, then you're not going to really get much benefit out of that equipment. So you've got to obviously pick what's going to work best for you. But there's just a quick idea of some of the equipment. So this, for example, the glove, if you were to wear this and play him in PvE, inspired troops get a permanent +2 instead. So instead of being +1 when they come into play, they'll get an extra +2 health. The helmet, search your deck and put it into play. And I'm not sure how that... is that... Okay, I'm not too sure about this. I'm thinking you pay 8 and you can just grab another one. Is that...
Yeah. The premise is you'll just be able to pay 8 and you'll go grab the Kraken straight out of deck, stick him in play. Don't have to be other cost. That's why that's got the legendary slot.
Cool. Now, does that mean... Okay, I'll bring this up. Here's a Hex data mine website, which the links up here. Everyone can use these guys have done a good job of actually basically cataloguing all the cards that have been revealed so far. They haven't revealed everything yet, but what I'll do is I'll just put the Kraken in so we can actually have a look. Sorry, it's a bit slow. Get rid of this chat box. I don't know if that worked. I don't know why it's so slow. Alright, so there's the Kraken. So I'll bring that up. So yeah, that's a pretty cool thing to have. So if you had, for example, I'll go back to this guy. So if you had him in play and you had 8 resources, you could then just search your deck. You'd obviously need to have this in your deck, but yeah, you can search it by using this helmet. You can then search and just grab this guy and put him into play without paying. You still have to pay 8, but you don't have to pay it again for this guy. So you can just grab him from your deck from anywhere, chuck him into play, and he's actually a very powerful card. So he also creates tentacles, which I'll show in a second. But for a 3 cost, he can create some tentacles. So basically, getting you more blockers and attackers and whatnot. And then you can also exhaust so similar to Magic the Gathering, where you tap a creature, exhaust is what they call it in Hex. So once you've got those tentacles in play, you can exhaust them and gain control of target troops with a cost less than the number of tentacles exhausted this way. So if you had 3 tentacles, you can exhaust them and then gain a creature that is a cost like 2, for example, or lower. So I'll go back and show you what the tentacles actually are. Sorry, it's a bit slow. Type it in again. Alright, so there's the Kraken tentacle there. It's just a 1/1. So it's nothing really special by itself, but the fact that when you couple it with the actual Kraken itself and you exhaust them, it has a very powerful mechanic. So that's something pretty powerful. Could be useful in a PvE, something to think about with this guy. But yeah, the amount of different options. So if I click on this guy, there's just so much equipment in the game. So a lot of stuff to collect, and that's all all from playing the game for free in the PvE. Once you beat a dungeon and a raid boss, you might get some legendary equipment from a raid boss, or you get some more cards for your deck. There's so many things that you can win, and that's all free to play. So there's a few more examples of equipment. And so as you can see, every single card in the game, from the PvE cards to the PvP cards, has unique equipment. So there's literally thousands of them. So that's a pretty cool feature. Keep people very busy for a long time. Although and you don't even need to play the PvP to get any of this. And the cool thing is, say you do collect a lot of equipment and stuff from playing the PvE, and you don't really want to spend any money on the PvP, you can then go into the game's auction house and actually sell your equipment and stuff or cards that you're not using from the PvE, and then sell them for either gold or platinum, and then buy PvP cards or packs and whatnot. So the auction, just like any MMO, you're going to have an auction house that's fully fledged with all the bells and whistles that you'd expect. So that's a pretty good thing. I'll just scroll down the Kickstarter here. There's an example of the guild bank. That's where you can put your decks or whatever into the guild bank. Then you've got the auction house, so you can grab your cards and sell them on the auction house and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'll just scroll down here a bit.
There's something. If you go back up, you've got the set bonus for equipment. For equipment, these they only affect your character and deck in PvE. In PvP, they're keeping it completely level. Now, if you have a look here, you've got an unlocked card that'll give you 4 copies of this card for your deck if you're wearing the specific set of equipment that's on the right.
Yeah, so there's Inferno, Burn to the Ground, and Burn. So I think you need to have those 3 cards. These are the 3 cards here that you need in your deck, and then you need to have those 3 pieces of gear. So you've got the wraps, the slippers, and the handguards. And so those pieces of equipment there change how those specific cards work. So it makes Burn do 4 damage, which is very powerful in itself. Then you've got the effect for when an Inferno is destroyed, it creates some Blaze Elementals, which is just a unit with 3/1, I think. Then you got the Slippers, that is pretty strong as well. Create shuffle X burn spells into your deck. That's pretty powerful. But then once you've got all that equipped, you then get this card here to add into your deck because you've got that set bonus unlocked. So if you've played the PvE, you've done a raid boss, you've just finally unlocked. You've finally got that last piece of gear that you want, then you get this, this is another reward from collecting that set, or maybe you go on the auction house to finish it off. You'll then get this overcharge here to add to your deck. And yeah, that's a pretty cool card as well. Copy target action. So for example, you might have a Burn, which is normally it's a 2 damage quick action. Quick action is similar to Magic the Gathering, where you've got instant, so it can be played on your turn or the enemy's turn. And yeah, so you might be doing that, and then you can copy it and do up to 8 damage because you've got that set bonus. That's pretty powerful, but again, that is only for the PvE. Now, so it might seem strong, but from what we've been told, the PvE is going to be pretty challenging. And yeah, especially the raids. The raids, you're going to need all your mates, ready to tackle, because it's going to be similar to like World of Warcraft. In the raid, you might have different phases. The boss changes, and you will have to probably adapt to that. You might lose and then go, okay, well, this phase 2 we weren't ready for, so let's change our decks and go back and adapt and all that sort of stuff. So that should be very interesting. So what I'll do, I'll go back to the Hex website here, and I'll quickly just show through the, if I can just find it. I'll just go into card overview, and we'll just generally go over how the cards work and the costs and whatnot in Hex compared to, say, Magic, for example. So you don't have the resource system is similar to Magic, but different in a good way. So we've got the cost of the card at the top left, which is 4, and then their system, they've got a threshold system. So basically the way the threshold system works is, to play this card, for example, you need to have 4 resources. Now you don't have the lands in the field like you do in Magic, where you need to tap them to to then cast a card. You, say you're